Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at noon. I'm Alexandra Carter. We start with an update in the case of the missing toddler from Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Jesse Vang, the last person seen with 3-year-old Elijah Vu, was back in court today, where his preliminary hearing was set for April 4th. According to court records, earlier this week, Vang filed a motion to have the child neglect charges against him dropped or make the complaint against him more definite and certain. Prosecutors have since filed an amended complaint. That motion will likely be addressed at the April 4th hearing. Elijah's mother, Katrina Bauer, is set to appear in Manitowoc County Court tomorrow for an arraignment. She's facing 4 charges, including felony child neglect. Elijah has not been seen since February 20th. High schoolers putting their business skills to the test at today's Junior Achievement Titan Business Challenge. More than 120 area high school students competed in the event, which took place at Western Tech's Lunda Center this morning. Student teams competed for scholarships while running a business simulation. The contest helps teach students about smart decision making and allows them to practice skills like critical thinking and teamwork. The top 2 teams today will advance to the JA Titan statewide competition later this spring. And if you haven't heard, Rudy's Drive-In is back open for the season. The fence coming down yesterday, marking the kickoff of the 91st season in La Crosse. You can expect the same products the Coulee region has come to know and love for decades. Usually the restaurant doesn't open until the end of March, but Rudy's owner says warm weather is to thank for an earlier opening day this year.
This is about 7-8 days earlier than normal. Normally it's towards the end of the month, but this year Mother Nature was on our side, so she let us get open a little bit earlier.
Smith warns you may have to wait a little bit longer for your goodies this year because they're short-staffed. So if you know anybody that's good on a pair of roller skates, tell them Rudy's is needing some extra help. La Crosse's yard waste and brush site on Isle La Plume will be closed starting Monday. The closure is based on upcoming inclement weather and is expected to last through Sunday, March 31st. The city says there'll be no access to the compost and wood chip piles. The site will be back open for regular hours on Monday, April 1st.
Good to know that Rudy's is opening, so I have somebody to blame now for the churn in weather. All in good fun, of course. Boy, I'm going to miss Rudy's. Might have to have them mail me some chili cheese dogs and root beer. All right, cloudy skies outside right now, but weather headlines. Yeah, it's cloudy, but it's going to stay mainly dry today. Maybe a few flurries in spots, but the main event doesn't arrive until later tonight, with snow tonight into tomorrow morning. And then more unsettled weather Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, more snow and rain during that 3-day stretch. Now, looking at the radar, you'd be like, well, Bill, it looks like it's snowing. We've got plenty of radar returns, but what's happening is the air is so dry. I generally don't show the dew point map during the winter months, but look at how dry the air is. Dew points around 0 and 1 degree in many spots. That is telling me that the air is so dry that precipitation showing up on radar is not reaching the ground. Current temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s. It's going to be another chilly day with highs around 39 degrees. Snow looks to develop in La Crosse around 10 p.m. or shortly thereafter. We'll talk many more details about that snow chance with my 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
My skin is feeling the dryness. Thank you, Bill. President Biden announcing a new student loan forgiveness program designed to help people who serve the country. Natalie Brand has those details for us from Washington.
The White House is sending emails to more than 77,000 student loan borrowers announcing their debt will be erased. Those who qualify include public service workers such as firefighters, nurses, and teachers who have been on the job 10 or more years, amounting to $6 billion in debt cancellation. The administration's move stems from a federal program that's been around since 2007, but Mike Pierce of the Student Borrower Protection Center says public servants have struggled to get relief.
The student loan system was broken for them. They did everything they were told. They worked in public service. They made monthly payments, and their student loan servicer lost their payments, didn't keep accurate records, didn't advise them about the rules of the program.
The Biden administration is still working on an alternative proposal to expand student loan forgiveness after the president's program to reduce debt for more than 40 million borrowers was struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court blocked it. It blocked it. But that didn't stop me. I announced we were going to pursue alternative paths for student debt relief. for as many borrowers as possible.
As an issue the president campaigned on in 2020, he's made it front and center this election year as well through a series of loan forgiveness announcements. But it's estimated tens of millions are still waiting for help.
What would you like to see?
We would like to see anybody that's experiencing hardship as a result of their student debt be able to access debt relief.
While there's bipartisan agreement that reforms are needed, congressional Republicans say the president's plan costs too much and argue it's unfair to people without loans. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The White House says it plans to notify another 380,000 Americans next week that they'll be eligible for student loan program forgiveness in the next 2 years. A massive manhunt underway right now in Idaho after a violent prisoner escape. Idaho authorities say it happened just after 31-year-old inmate Skylar Mead received treatment at a Boise hospital for self-inflicted wounds. Around 2 this morning, correctional officers were preparing to transport Mead from the emergency room back to prison when he started shooting at them in the ambulance bay.
Suspect attacked and fired at the officers, striking 2 of them.
A third officer was accidentally shot when Boise police responded to the scene. The hospital then went into lockdown, but Mead already had escaped. Investigators say Mead's accomplice is Nicholas Umthanur. They were last seen in this gray 2020 Honda Civic. Mead is 5'6", about 150 pounds, with a shaved head and white supremacist prison gang tattoos on his face and body, as you see there. Chips Ahoy, hoping to make your taste buds sing with a revamped recipe featuring a special type of chocolate chip. Find out what's different about these improved cookies next. Welcome back. The Federal Reserve says it needs to see more signs to instill confidence that inflation is easing toward its stated 2% goal. Yesterday, it announced it will hold interest rates steady. This comes after recent federal data showed prices rose slightly last month compared to January. Still, the Fed signaled it still expects to make 3 rate cuts by the end of the year, a move that would be welcomed by Americans struggling with the high cost of borrowing. The EPA, meanwhile, calling on the U.S. auto industry, starting with 2027 models, to cut 7 billion tons of carbon emissions caused by cars, pickup trucks, and SUVs. It's an effort to speed up America's transition to electric vehicles. Under the new rules, EVs could account for more than half of new cars sold from 2030 to 2032. And a popular chocolate chip cookie is updating its recipe for the first time in a decade. Chips Ahoy's improved cookies will feature a newer type of chocolate chip developed by the company, one that has a higher concentration of cacao and Madagascar vanilla extract, as well as reduced bitterness. The updated cookie will also include a richer texture and new packaging. That wraps up your afternoon consumer news. As we head to break, here's a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Stay with us. More news is after the break. Declining birth rates could change the world. That leads your medical news today. Global fertility rates expected to drop dramatically by the year 2100, with more than 97% of countries and territories falling below levels needed to replace their populations. The study published in The Lancet predicts over 3/4 of births will occur in lower income countries by the end of the century, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa. Researchers suggest the trends will make higher income countries more reliant on open immigration to sustain economic growth. Another new study published in the journal Addiction is helping debunk the myth that smoking keeps you thin. Researchers looked at about 1 million Europeans who took up the habit and over 450 lifetime smokers. They found both groups had more excess fat deep inside the abdomen, increasing the risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and dementia. And a team of international researchers have developed a new artificial intelligence tool to help breast cancer patients and their doctors make better treatment choices. They say the software can predict which patients will experience arm swelling following surgery and radiotherapy, and which ones would not. Phase 3 of their clinical trial is expected to start later this year. Those were some of today's top health headlines. Here is a live look now at a gloomy CityCam 8. Bill is up next with our forecast.
Hey, welcome back. A good Thursday afternoon to you. March Madness kicks into high gear today on the basketball courts and in our weather department as well. Let's head outside through CityCam where skies are cloudy. As Alexandra mentioned, it looks a bit gloomy out there, but I am looking at a dry day, maybe a few flurries at most, but the air is very dry. We'll get to that in just a moment. 33 the high so far today, 23 the low. Averages are 48 and 28. No rain or snow as of yet. Sun sets this evening at 7:19. Currently cloudy, 33 degrees at the airport and downtown at the station. Winds are light, but note the dew point. It's 1 and the relative humidity 26%. So the air is very, very dry, bone dry. So that's why even though we're seeing some radar returns across the region, nothing is reaching the ground. Same story in Eau Claire. Cloudy, mostly cloudy. You can see some filtered sun shining on the streets here. You can see some shadows from the bridge deck there. 29 degrees, dew point of 1 below, at a relative humidity of 28%. So temperatures are chilly again today, generally in the upper 20s to lower 30s, 30 in Winona, 32 in Black River Falls, 30 in Viroqua, and winds are light, so a stark contrast to the past several days when it has been so breezy around here. Now here's what I'm talking about. You look at the radar and it'd be like, oh, we've got some snow showers or flurries around, but I haven't seen one single ground report in our viewing area of snow actually reaching the ground. So the air is so dry near the surface here that that's all evaporating before it does reach the surface. Now here's what I'm tracking. This area of low pressure is going to ride southeast along this frontal boundary, and at the same time some warm air is going to advect or lift north of it and create a band of snow into our area later tonight and into our Friday morning. Sky Tracker will time it out for you. Cloudy but dry today, then snow starts to arrive in La Crosse after about 9, 10, 11 o'clock or so, and then a burst of moderate to even heavy snow quickly moves southeast overnight. And this area is where I'm going to have to watch for maybe a heavier band of snow setting up that may clip southern parts of our viewing area overnight and into tomorrow morning. And then all the snow starts to taper and move out pretty quickly by mid-morning of our Friday. Some decreasing clouds late in the day and into tomorrow night. So with that snow in order, a winter weather advisory has been posted by the National Weather Service for tonight into tomorrow morning. I'm expecting a general 1 to 4 inch snowfall, but we could see some localized higher amounts, especially if that heavy snow band sets up down towards, say, Winneshiek, Alameda, Crawford, Richland counties. Some light icing possible in spots as well, especially over northeastern Iowa. Bottom line, a wintry Friday morning commute, so be prepared for that. Ice Tracker shows that minimal icing potential. Zone forecast showing highs this afternoon, still chilly, upper 30s in the La Crosse area and points south, even some low 40s far south. A little bit chillier as we head back to the north. Mid to upper 30s, 38 Mondovi and Whitehall, also 38 in Arcadia, 38 in Eau Claire, and 37 in Chippewa Falls. So my forecast for this afternoon, 39, mainly cloudy but dry, lighter winds. Snow develops this evening after about 10 o'clock or so in La Crosse, 29. And again, an alert night and morning for tomorrow due to travel impacts. 39 as that snow tapers in the morning. A brief break Saturday, then more snow likely on Sunday. Some accumulations possible as well, changing to rain on Monday with highs near 50 and a chance of rain and snow showers on Tuesday. Another system could bring some mixed precipitation later next week on Friday. So Alexandra, we talked about it this morning, just kind of relearn those winter driving skills to deal with the commute tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that'll be important for sure. All right, Bill, we know you'll be tracking it for us. Thank you. From baking cookies to building a brighter future, 2 young entrepreneurs on a mission to teach their peers valuable trade skills. We'll introduce you to the inspiring brothers behind Butter Butter Cookies next. Two teenage brothers in Tennessee found a delicious way to help their Memphis community. They've started a cookie business and they hope they can motivate other local teens to be productive and stay out of trouble.
It's been great. I'm not gonna tell you no stories. I love it.
While most of their classmates spent spring break relaxing, Jacob and Jaden Childress were hard at work at Butter Butter Cookies. The brothers opened shop in Whitehaven nearly 2 years ago.
Without the community, man, we would be nothing.
At just 17 and 15, the young men are on to their next venture, hoping to teach their peers certain trades. It's part of their effort to help get teens off Memphis streets.
A lot of the stealings and killings, I'm 15, a lot of the people that's doing it is my age. So, if we could put a hammer or do whatever to, get them out the streets.
And they've got the skills to do it. The brothers, alongside their father, did the work themselves at the cookie shop.
They did everything in here, floors, they built the counters, they did everything, did the plumbing, so they pretty hands-on.
Now they're working with Brian Harris, Director of Youth Services for the City of Memphis, on a business plan. The goal is a 2-week program that'll teach about 40 teens different trade skills.
We watch the news a lot, and the majority of the stories that are being aired are about teen violence, about teen committing some kind of crime. And they took it upon themselves to like, hey, we need to do something like immediately.
The Memphis Shelby Crime Commission reports a 13% drop in serious juvenile charges, but a nearly 16% increase in delinquent juvenile charges from 2022 to 23.
It's very easy to get into trouble, but you know it's very hard to get out of it.
Which is why this family wants to help other youth and teens stay productive and out of trouble.
If it's rapping, or if it's raking leaves, or if it get bags, go out there, help them. Tie them up for them, throw them on the back of the truck, or whatever it is. That's what kids are missing. They're missing the motivation.
You know, you can make money plenty of ways, legitimate ways. It don't have to be in the streets, or, you know, that's not cool to be in. You can still be the cool guy making cookies. You can still be the cool guy working on houses. You know, just be yourself.
The Childress brothers are hoping to raise $6,500 to fund their program for the area's Junior Builder Summer Camp program. They say they want to make it free for teens to take part. Stay with us. We'll have a final check of your forecast when we come back.
Mainly dry this afternoon, highs in the upper 30s. Winter weather advisory tonight. General 1 to 4 inches of snow, localized higher totals. That's going to make for a wintry Friday morning commute, so be prepared for that. Otherwise, a brief break on Saturday. More snow likely Sunday. Changing over to rain on Monday. Some lingering rain and snow showers on Tuesday. Very unsettled over the next several days.
All right, Bill, thank you, and thank you for joining us. We will see you back here tonight. Have a great day.